We're back. We're live. It's another Caribbean cricket podcast, Rum Shot Diaries cuss out session. I said, how many days ago was it? 3 days ago when I dropped the Shimron Hetmeyer debate and we did a bit of a cuss out session in response to all of the social media hype that was going on. And I said, answer in the comments if you want to see more of this. And to be honest, to be fair to everyone, loads of you commented below on the Shimron Hetmeyer video. Lots of likes, lots of engagement, lots of views. And yeah, we're here. We're doing another one. Ladies and gents, my name's Machel St. Patrick Hewitt, one half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. And here we are on our spin-off, the Rum Shot Diaries cuss out sessions. So what's been hot? What's been hot? What needs to be spoken about? The topic of the day today, I'm calling this one the Darren Bravo conundrum. Yeah, the Darren Bravo conundrum. We're about, whenever you choose to watch this, as I'm recording this, we're 4.5 hours out from the start of the final ODI between West Indies and Australia. Darren Bravo may or may not be picked or may not play in that final ODI. But something that I've picked up on in the kind of Facebook groups, the Twitter online activity, Instagram, is I sense and have sensed for at least going on 2 years, that there is a bit of an agenda against Darren Bravo. Now, you know what I'm like. If you might not like what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that what I'm saying is correct. I'm just saying this is how I see it. Since Darren Bravo returned to the Maroon, he has been one of the most, I'd say, criticised players for the West Indies. And what I wanted to do today was kind of just set a bit of context for Darren Bravo and try and explain why we should be persisting with him. It still shocks me that there are so many in the Caribbean willing to write Darren Bravo off, despite him only being 32 years of age. We are not blessed with experienced international players in all formats of the game. Darren Bravo is one of the few experienced players we have left who could play in every single format for the West Indies. And I find it shocking that people want him just gone at 32. But what I'm going to do first, and because these Rum Shot Diaries cuss outs are only supposed to last for about 20 minutes max, so I'm mindful of the time. So what I'll do first is quickly kind of give the general view that I tend to find for the prosecution, re Darren Bravo. And it goes something a bit like this. Darren Bravo was recalled at the start of 2019 to play against England in the Caribbean. He shouldn't have been recalled. There, I said it, I agree. He shouldn't have been recalled. He was recalled. And in fact, if you go and listen back to one of our podcast episodes where Darren Bravo came on, he himself admitted that he probably shouldn't have been recalled when he was recalled. But the fact he was spoke more to the weaknesses that existed in the West Indian test side than whether Darren Bravo should have been recalled at that time. We went on to win that test series 2-1, but Darren, other than a test match 50 that he got in Antigua, I think it was, which when Fazir Mohammed came on our podcast, he said that actually he felt that, having watched Darren Bravo closely over his career, he actually said that 50, for those who remember it came over 280 balls or something like that. Fazir said that he felt that was Darren Bravo's best ever test match knock, and those of you who remember that test match will understand why. But Darren looked out of form. He looked scratchy. He looked like he needed to play some domestic cricket. He then played at home against India and again looked all out of sorts before having to depart the field for concussion, and then never really came back again. In 2020, Darren Bravo made his way back into the Maroon, went to Sri Lanka for the ODIs, opted out of the England series, went to New Zealand for the test series, opted out of Bangladesh, and then has been there or thereabouts again in our home season versus Sri Lanka at home. He's been in and around the test match squad without playing for both Sri Lanka and South Africa, and currently he's in the Australia ODI series. Now, Here's the thing with Darren Bravo. Every time he fails, everyone rushes to social media to say he's done, he's finished, put him on the scrap heap, he's done, he's way past his best, we shouldn't be persisting with him. And I hear that. I do hear that, but as I probably did with the Shimon Hetmeyer video, I sense that there isn't really context being applied to Darren Bravo's situation. And let me talk to you about the context in Darren Bravo's situation. Since he's come back to the Maroon in 2020, at the front end of it, and then at the back end after he'd opted out of the England tour, what my argument is about Darren Bravo is he is in our ODI squads and the test squads on merit. I'll let that sink in, because some of you listeners that will go, utter foolishness. You're probably saying that I don't know what I'm talking about. But let me explain, because there are facts and stats behind why he's there on merit. And to understand this, we have to go all the way back to the end of 2019, after he had been dropped, remember, after the India series when the concussion happened. If we go all the way back to 2019, start all the way through 2020 up to now, Darren Bravo is in West Indian sides on merit. Take on board all the following stats I'm about to give you. Super 50 2019 ended a Christmas in 2019, just before the pandemic. Darren Bravo played 9 matches for Trinidad and Tobago. He averaged 96. This is in 50 over cricket. He averaged 96, 100, 450s. He scored the second highest amount of runs in the Super 50 tournament at a strike rate of 81. I'll get back to strike rate in a minute. Just on that alone, Darren Bravo deserved to be recalled to the West Indies ODI squad. And he was, by the way. He went to Sri Lanka in February 2020. After that, 4-day cricket. Because he went to the ODIs in Sri Lanka, he only was able to play 4 matches for Trinidad and Tobago. And he captained a lot of those as well. 4 matches, average 43, 100, 150. When Darren Bravo was recalled to the West Indies Test match side after the England tour, he was there, in my opinion, on merit. He then went to, so remember, he opts out of New Zealand. Oh, sorry, he opted out of England because of the COVID. He then is picked to go to New Zealand at the end of 2020. Now, we know what happened in the test match, 2 test match series. He was woeful. He got found out by pace. He was all at sea. He only averaged 8. However, he played 2 tour matches. I think it was either prior to or either side of the test matches. First one, he scored 135. Next one, he scored 93. Now, yes, I'm willing to accept what people are saying to me, but in the actual test matches themselves, he was poor. But there was form behind him. There was a reason to select him. Let me say the stats again. 4-day championship, 4 matches, average 43, 100, 150. He then goes on tour to New Zealand at the back end of 2020, scores 135 in the first tour match, 93 in the second tour match. There was a merit. There was context. There was a reason for Darren Bravo to be back in the West Indies Test match side. He played 2 test matches versus New Zealand, failed in all 4 innings. I'm not going to deny that. But that was a situation. Now, I want to just point out at this stage, in terms of specifically test match cricket, Darren Bravo was due a run. Giving him 4 innings and then saying, that's it. And I'm talking about the fans here, not the West Indies Brains Trust or the selectors or the coach, whatever. Giving him 4 innings and then saying, right, he's failed in all 4 in New Zealand, I hasten to add, where a lot of players fell in New Zealand. New Zealand had just won the World Test Championship after all. Although, remember, Darren Bravo of old does actually have a double century in New Zealand. But whatever. He failed in New Zealand. Players in and around that test match team that Darren Bravo was part of had received what I've considered to be unlimited innings playing for West Indies. We're talking 30 plus. Darren Bravo returns, plays 4, fails, and everyone says drop him immediately and he should never come back. That doesn't make any sense. Anywho, fails in New Zealand. CPL, 2020 CPL, Darren Bravo averaged, not that average matters in 2020, but I'll say it all the same. He averaged 59, strike rate 115 across those matches that he played in CPL, 350s. He was the third highest run scorer in CPL. That's 2020 cricket we're talking about, by the way. Strike rate 115. This was also the TNT side that obviously didn't lose in the whole of CPL. But whatever, he still got to put the runs on the boards. Darren Bravo did that, and he missed some games, I hasten to add, for that tournament. So there's an argument to say that if Darren Bravo ends up in the T20 squad, you can understand why, particularly if he reproduces in CPL 2021 this year. Super 50, February this year, Darren Bravo, average 65, strike rate 83. Yes, lots of you are going to say the strike rate's not good enough. I'm going to touch on that in a minute, but average 65. He rightly then gets into the ODI series versus Sri Lanka at home. Remember, he had opted out of Bangladesh for the tests and the ODIs, like pretty much everyone else did as well. He gets into the ODI series versus Sri Lanka. He averages 75. Strike rate 79. Now, before you all get on to me about strike rate, Evan Lewis's strike rate in that series was 80. Shea Hope's strike rate in that series was 82. So I think when people jump onto Darren Bravo, I always go and look and go, what was the context of what everybody else was doing in that series, though? Are we just looking at Darren Bravo because we're looking at Darren Bravo? Or are we looking at, well, everyone was kind of batting at a slow strike rate. And if you look at that Sri Lanka series, one of the reasons we won that series is because people batted time. They weren't trying to go at a strike rate of 100 when the matches didn't dictate that was the approach that was needed, per se. Remember, we won that series 3-0. So just take Darren Bravo's last 3 competitions that he's been involved in. I'm not talking about Australia right now. I'll get to that in a minute. 3 matches versus Sri Lanka in the ODI series, average 75. Super 50, average 65. CPL, average 59. 4-day cricket outside of the failures in the actual New Zealand test matches, 135 and 93 in the tour matches versus New Zealand A. And then in the last domestic season we played, an average of 43 in 4 matches with 100 and 150. And remember, the previous Super 50 before this year, an average of 96. I'm pausing for a reason, because I want people to just think on all that and tell me, what more do you want him to do? On a domestic level, what more do you want him to do? Because every time Darren Bravo fails, everyone's quick to say, drop him, drop him, drop him, drop him. Now, some of you probably are going to listen to all those stats and say, he's a domestic bully, he's a domestic bully. Okay, even if I wanted to try and listen to you on that, the Sri Lanka series, he averaged 75 with a century in that series. We won 3-0. His strike rate of 79. Evan Lewis, who is a ball beater, in his 3 matches, his strike rate was 80. Shea Hope's strike rate was 82. So don't get me wrong. I get it. I get why people are saying drop Bravo. Drop. I get why you're going there in some senses. But if we're looking at the raw recent numbers, and I focus on that word recent, there isn't, in my mind, the cries to drop Darren Bravo actually don't make as much sense as people think they do. I actually think that what happens in West Indies cricket and fandom in West Indies cricket is people reach for recency. You see a man fell and the first thing you think is drop. You don't actually look at what's the trend saying though. Now, let me try be balanced. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I've been balanced all the way through it. But let me be even more balanced for those who are saying drop a man. Australia series, first, he scored, in this current Australia series, Bravo has scored 2 and 0. Yeah, that's not good enough. 2 and 0. The second ODI was really interesting for me. I watched that match all the way through. My eyes were stinging, but I still watched it. For those who are watching this from the Caribbean, I'm based in London in the UK, so these matches go until 3 o'clock in the morning. Eyes are red and stinging. Anyways, the Bravo got a duck, first ball duck, versus Australia. The ball that got rid of him from Mitchell Starc was an absolute beauty. Now, what I don't understand with social media and West Indian fans who go rush to the cuss out, where's the line between that guy just got a beauty and there wasn't a whole lot you could do about that versus you got a duck, drop? Where's the line? I'm not saying he mustn't face criticism. I'm not saying that. But sometimes when a man gets a duck, you might have to credit the bowler. And we're not very good in West Indies cricket at crediting a bowler when a man fails. We often just look at, well, why didn't you score? Obviously, you're useless. You must hold a drop now. It is my opinion that Darren Bravo deserves a run, a proper run, where if he fails for a long period of time, then yes, he is to be dropped. And to be honest, I'm saying that in Test cricket, I'm saying that in ODI cricket. I do not feel since 2019, and I'm not talking about England, I'm not talking about the India series, I'm talking about since the close of the domestic season in 2019, when he averaged 96 in Super 50, up till now. Remember, he opted out of England, he opted out of Bangladesh. In my mind, Darren Bravo is yet to get a sustained run, certainly not in red ball cricket. And if we look at ODI cricket, he went to Sri Lanka in February 2020. We didn't play ODIs versus England. We didn't play ODIs versus New Zealand. He didn't go to Bangladesh. He played the ODIs versus Sri Lanka at home, averaged 77. To me, the man deserves a run. How is it that we're immediately rushing to 2-0 versus Australia? You're out. Don't ever come back to this team again. Put in Shimron Hetmyer. I just need people to reflect on that. And let me slightly digress. I'm not saying Hetmyer shouldn't get in the team. I'm not saying that. That's not my point. This is a focus purely on Darren Bravo and the debate around him and why people seem so quick to say, drop him. I charge to some of you who end up watching this that I don't think you've studied what he's been doing. I think you have told yourself that what he's produced is worse than it actually is. And I'm including obviously domestic cricket in this. If I was Darren Bravo, I would be thinking, but hold on a minute. No, my form doesn't dictate that I should just be getting dropped just like that. And very briefly, before I wrap this one up, let's just talk on strike rate. So lots of you say Darren Bravo's strike rate isn't good enough. And I'm going to look at this in two angles. When you come to me with stats and facts of whether on Twitter or whether on Instagram, and for those of you who are watching this new who don't know about Caribbean Cricket Podcasts, find us on Twitter, find us on Instagram at Carib Cricket. Our website is www.caribbeancricketpodcast.com. Go find us, go get involved. When you send me an extrapolation of Darren Bravo's data, we're talking ODIs now, purely ODIs, across his career, and people go, look at that strike rate, it's only 70 odd. Cool, I hear that. Not good enough. It's certainly not in modern ODI cricket. But if we're going to talk about 2021, let's talk about what he's recently doing, please. Can we stop this whole, here's the data over the whole career, and that tells you everything. I'm focusing on recent data when I'm looking at a cricketer to see if they are on a downward trend or if actually it doesn't match what the career average is saying. When you look at the West Indies ODI side, let's just look at the top four. And I'll take Jason Mohammed out because I've already done a video about that a couple of days back. Evan Lewis, Shai Hope, Darren Bravo 3, Mohammed 4. Now, I personally agree that Mohammed shouldn't be there. But if Shimron Hetmyer is to come in for today's match, for example, it should be over Jason Mohammed before it's over Darren Bravo. And the reason why I say that, how many players in our ODI team are able to bat through the innings? If Shai Hope gets out early, and we know he's a gun ODI player, so that's rare in itself. But if he gets out early, Who do you want coming in next out of interest? Do you want Shimron coming in at 3 and playing his natural game, which comes with an element of risk? Now, of course, you could say, well, no, he has to adapt his game, but we also know what Shimron is like as a batsman. Do you want Shimron Hetmyer coming in at 3 and playing his natural game? Or do you want Darren Bravo coming in at 3 and you're telling Darren Bravo, bat through the innings? Now, if Darren Bravo is told to bat through the innings, he's probably batting at a strike rate of high 70s, low 80s. But that's fine. That's fine if the people who are coming after you are Shimron Hetmyer, Nicholas Pooran, Kyron Pollard, and Jason Holder from 4 through to 7, and Fabian Allen, in fact, from 4 through to 8, respectively. It can't just be an entire team of ball beaters after Shai Hope. Remember, Evan Lewis opens with Shai Hope. So there is an argument to say that as much as we criticize Darren Bravo's ODI strike rate, there might need to be 2 types of Shai Hopes in our ODI side. Ideally, Hope comes in, bats through the innings, does what he does because he has an ODI average over 50 for a reason. But there's no harm in having a player like a Darren Bravo come in at 3, tasked with the same kind of responsibility as to, well, you bat through the innings if Hope is out and let others bat around you. This video isn't intended to say that we must back Darren Bravo no matter what. That's not actually the point of the video. But I guess the point of the video and the point of the cuss out is to say, can we just be a bit mindful that when we rush to criticize Bravo and we rush to say he's finished, are you really aware of the context? Are you really aware of the recent data? And are you really aware that technically he deserves his place? That's been the Rum Shot Diaries cuss out sessions, episode number 2. Comment below. Like, dislike, don't follow, say I'm a madman, say I don't know what I'm talking about. It's all good. If you've seen the first video, the Shimron Hetmyer video that I did, you'll see that I responded to everybody's comments who commented underneath the video. Get at me. You might not have agreed with what I've said, but that's what the cuss out sessions are there for, to provide some balance, some context, look at the pros, look at the cons, etc., and see where we stand on it. The 3rd ODI kicks off in 4 hours. I hope you'll join me online as we tweet through it, etc. Enjoy it later today. Get involved with the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Thank you and good night.